to provide.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let me know you guys can hear me. Get this thing going. Glad to be back. 2026, new year. You guys are doing well. We had a hell of a Christmas with my fam. Some setbacks. We're back at it. All right. Discord's up. Twitter. Twitter's looking like we're good on live. All right. Yeah, you guys can't hear that. Audio's looking good. Sorry, I just want to check everything. I swear, if I'm off this computer for more than 2 weeks, all of this stuff resets. But let's get going. Screen this out. All right. So, hope you guys are doing well. Missed a few streams. Took a bunch of time off with the family. It's good to break. And it was right before I had some major offshore campaigns kick off and go live. So, it was good to get all that locked in. Hope you guys are doing well. We personally had flu knock out my entire family in the middle of Christmas. I actually had a daughter who's like notorious for fighting like the flu and everything else, not caring if she's running a fever. She woke up, looked at the presents, and went straight back to bed. So I was very shocked at that. But flu ran through us, I think, March of last year when we went to Disneyland, and then it hit us again this year. Even though everyone's got like the recent flu vaccine, it was pretty rough. But made it through, had a bunch of fun time, visited one set of the grandparents, and then made it through Christmas and started some 3D printing journeys. But we shall get going. Making sure. Sean, what's up, Sean? What's up, Pepe Cinco? Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while. So anyway, let's get started. This is the weekly whale watch First one of the year, we're back. We're looking at charts. There's a lot to talk about. There's been anything but boring the past, 32 hours. We're going to go over stocks. We're going to go over some crypto. We're going to go over some news headlines, some jokes, and then we're going to go head over to the Rainbow Trends Discord at the end of this session and hang out with there for the rest of the night. So I'm going to run through all this, and then we'll do open mic. Everybody can talk, do what they want, share their charts, ask questions. It's what it's for. And if you have any questions about why on earth any of my charts look so weird, it's Rainbow Trends. It's a bunch of tools we've coded to track whales and helps us get an edge on the market. And if you're interested in it, check us out at rainbowtrends.com. And you can start today. Give it a shot for a month for $10 sign up. Cancel anytime. We've also upgraded. All of the indicators have been upgraded. So if your indicators say no permissions, it's because you're now on the upgraded ones. You need to add the upgraded ones to your charts. And if you're curious about all the write-ups, we have new write-ups for every tool hosted now on TradingView. This took me all of Thanksgiving break. Plus, I had to build an AI agent to help this out. So definitely go give those a check out if you're interested in any of the write-ups. There are some slight updates to some of the tools, but overall, better updates. And now it's all hosted on TradingView. So if you just want to stay on TradingView, you can do it. And that's the reminder. That's the little boost button. These aren't going to boost themselves. So much love if you want to slap the rocket around. But where we at, 2026 vibes is where we're at. So I wanted to start this off with this. This is my current mood for 2026. I'm sure he's on a trailer or something, but it got me when the puppies and the dogs were driving. So much love, Stacks and Pep, our dog degenerate dudes. So we got to start this off. America has been doing a lot of stuff. Even today we got some crazy news that I had to add towards these slides. So we'll start off. So Lindsey Graham is war dude. He's all about regime changes, and it's finally happening. And when I saw this dude on Air Force One screaming about regime changes, I knew stuff was serious, and the United States started taking over countries. So it got pretty wild. Someone had retweeted this. I wish I had it up, but it goes, if you say regime change 3 times, Lindsey Beetlejuice Grahams will come out of a closet and start bitching about Iran. I absolutely love it. It's so funny. But yeah, this dude's all about blowing up all these countries around the world, which I'm not a big fan of that, but it's is what it is. But at the same time, we take the bad, we take some good. You guys know my kids are currently obsessed with 3D printing, and if you've seen some of my recent tweets, we've been getting into the 3D printing stuff. We picked up a Bamboo P1S, and I saw this. It is absolutely great headline. They 3D printed a Starbucks. And they actually did. They have these 3D print machines that print little lines of cement, and they build these cement buildings really rapidly fast. It's pretty cool. But I've been back at it. We picked up a new 3D printer. Santa dropped us off a P1S. It's been a learning experience, to say the least. Trying to print multicolor stuff for the kids who want toys. They think it's a toy printer, and to be honest, it really is. It can shoot out these little dragons and stuff that they want to play with, and Pokemon and all that other stuff. So I'm having fun playing with it. I'm also doing some engineering work with it, doing some testing. And if you guys haven't seen this, I wanted to share it. I promise we will talk charts soon. So if you guys didn't catch this post, this engineer started increasing. He started out building a part, and every day he made the part more and more complicated. And he kept sending these 3D designs to a machine shop called SynCut. SynCut basically is you draw whatever you want in 3D CAD, you mail it to them, they'll go cut it with their CNC machines out of steel, aluminum, whatever, and mail it back to you. So you can draw it up and get a real one. So his goal was to make something so complicated that they would never actually do it. Or he was going to make it so complicated that they eventually told him to please stop. Well, by the 5th day, it got their attention. And Sing Cuts In actually basically said, they basically said is if you give us, do a little GoFundMe for us to, you know, reward our CNC operator, we'll go ahead and try to build one of these things. And they live streamed it, and they actually built the thing, and it's kind of gone viral, and it's really cool. So go check these guys out, Sing Cuts In. They're a cool shop, and they live streamed it. They raised this. The operator was like, "You got to be kidding me!" But they raised him a few $1,000 and live streamed it, which is just so cool. Yeah. So a few days of operation, there it is. This beautiful piece. So I'm still trying to figure out this 3D printer, and I was like, well, let me see. They dropped the CAD file online. So I took a stab at it. Sorry, I'm blowing your guys' eardrums out. I took a stab at it, and I got this morning. So that's with all the supports on the plastic 3D printer. This is about 75% height size of what it originally was, and that's after I ripped off all the supports. With like the cheapest plastic I could get off Amazon that's very wet. I don't have proper desiccants yet, but those are coming tomorrow. And then you can also do, this is what's cool, is you can get streams of it over time. This took like 19 hours, I think. But you can sit here and do a little time lapse, and it was pretty cool. New Wave says, a company called Icon does those 3D printed buildings and houses. They did an entire neighborhood? Dude. Did they do that entire neighborhood from one position and this like an arm reached out to each house, or did they like move the setup to each house? That'd be really cool. I actually want to look that up. Then you can watch it finish it up. It's only like a little 720p camera, but it's still pretty cool. But yeah, came out cool, and I went and took it and showed it to some of my engineers today. I'm half tempted to like make a fake PO and send this through our QA department just to see what they do, and if I try to ask them to do proper dimensional analysis on it, because I'm sure they would tell me to F off. But anyway, it's pretty cool. People keep asking, like, what does it do? It does absolutely nothing. It's literally just designed to be not manufacturable. So you're supposed to try to give this to a machine and like it be impossible. But dude, they figured it out. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, moving on. What's really going on with the MicroStrategy? What's really going on with crypto? Whatever. There's been a lot of big news this week. It's really getting overshadowed with the stuff that's happening in like South America right now. But there's a really, really big thing is MSCI will not exclude Bitcoin and crypto treasury companies from its indexes. This is gigantic news, guys. This is side note. This is my favorite Michael Saylor picture of all time. Bitcoin conference in Miami years ago. I don't remember which one it was, but it wasn't last year's. It was a few years ago. He showed up sunburnt like a tomato in an all-black suit. Unbuttoned and just went off on a Bitcoin maxi tangent. So that's my favorite photo of Saylor all time. Absolute goat. But moving on to actual charts. First chart of the day. Also as a side benefit, if you guys stay tuned, I'll teach you a hack how to become qualified for Twitter's partnership program, which requires 5 million impressions in 3 months. I ended up doing it in 5 days, just as a side experiment. So I'm going to go into that because I've been testing the Twitter algo lately, and it's kind of been fun. But moving on, back to MicroStrategies. So oftentimes what we've kind of seen is MicroStrategies will break out before Bitcoin does, or MicroStrategies will kind of form a bottom before Bitcoin does. And for a while, Bitcoin's been just kind of going sideways, and MicroStrategy has been falling off a freaking cliff. And I've been watching it heavily, to say the least. Let me move that forward. And it's white candles printing over and over and over and over and over into the bands, right? This is telling us this is either going to zero or eventually this is going to pop. And I've been watching the colors fade. We have the RSIs finally stopping. We don't have any more RSI prints. We're still in the bands, and then the colors are starting to rotate. We just got like our first red candles in a while. We're going to see green candles probably around like 175-ish if this starts walking up and out. Long story short, it looks like we're getting an actual pullback out, and if we do, we're going to bet on a yin-yang trade where we go from the red bands up to the green bands. That's the home run shot we want to shoot for with a rainbow theory setup. But these sometimes do like a 3-leg pattern that like crypto's in trades where it's comes in, hits again, comes in, hits again, and then it freaking just full freaking sends. We've got to watch it. I'm also kind of watching the volume, but they've been bleeding, and then bleeding, and they finally got like a really nice news announcement. So I'm not super interested to jump on this yet. When I get like a white candle that just goes down into these ranges, I really just slam it, right? This has been bleeding. This is not just a capitulation one-day wick. This has been bleeding for weeks. So I'm waiting for a slow turn to show me some strength and try to lock in and get some of the move back up. At a minimum, if you're really wanting to be aggressive on like a MicroStrategy trade or this type of trade setup, your home run is obviously a yin to yang. You're going to try to hit like purple pink candles inside this green band. At a minimum, you're going to try to get like that, where you just get a slight recovery and then it keeps going down and forms like that second leg. So you got to be careful, but it's getting kind of probably close to where we could start doing kind of a trailing stop. I'm really kind of want to see a little more moves before I play with this. Sailors, I got to be careful with a sailor stock, just regardless. I know we love Bitcoin Santa, but it's he does some weird stuff, needless to say. But moving on. So, if you guys haven't noticed, there's been a lot of people talking about Elon wanting to increase the payouts and stuff to try to compete with YouTube. They've tweaked the algo to reward it and stuff. If you guys haven't noticed, like, dude, crypto Twitter posts are just flat dead. They don't get any views. They don't get any actions. So it's like, okay, maybe these guys posting about getting the 5 million mark with just being a reply guy is a thing. I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. It's 2026. I know what my stats are in general. Just kind of flat, hovering around, so many followers, etc. I'm going to give it a shot. Can you tell where the reply guy algos got noticed on Twitter? Dude, I've even on like my most successful like crypto Twitter heydays of killing stuff, I never broke 2 million views in 3 months. This right here is over 5 million views in 5 days. Just replying the most just simple reply guy stuff. And it's crazy as you're noticing that's like it's incentivizing reply guy antics. And most of the stuff in the replies are just intelligent chat bots commenting on the actual post. And it's like, yo, I fear for Twitter because they're tuning the algos for bots to go in and just be reply guys and make content. It's kind of crazy. So anyway, does it have anything to do with crypto? No, but a lot of the crypto dudes are on Twitter, and dude, it's like kind of flat. So I'm just kind of watching these algos develop, but that was something I noticed. There's like absolutely crazy. I kind of quit posting and just started doing replies, and it just boom, 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 boom. Like I have a post that's 100,000 views where I just said lock in. Like it's so crazy what they're doing. So I love Twitter, and I want it to keep going and be successful. And I hope it just doesn't turn into reply guy stuff. So on a side note of a separate weird thing, kind of a bearish thing. Every time I see people repurposing the thermal output of Bitcoin miners, I get really bearish. And this is one that they showed at the CES show. It's a water heater that runs on a Bitcoin mining rig. And basically, instead of using electricity to heat it, they use electricity to run a Bitcoin miner, and it pumps all the heat from the miner into your water heater. And it should give you a free heating bill because you're going to get basically free Bitcoin, which would offset the electrical cost of doing this, which is just absolutely crazy. It also gives you an incentive to use older tech, which isn't profitable. Like the old S9s can still mine Bitcoin, but you put $1,000 electricity into it, you might get $500 worth of Bitcoin out of it. So like it's not perfect, not usable at all, but that dang thing will heat up a water heater. So kind of interesting. Moving on. If you guys haven't noticed, crypto's not where it's at right now for as far as trading. All your friends who have been in metals are killing it right now. And this tweet hurt, but it's real. If you bought silver 4 weeks ago, you would have made more profits than holding ETH for the last 4 years. 4 years. So, oh, also, side note on trying to get 5 million impressions in a week or within 3 months per the requirement. If you guys don't know, if you actually want to get one of those paychecks from Twitter, you have to get minimum. You have to prove that you could get 5 million impressions in 3 months. If you want to get some really, really easy views, go make yourself some Rubio memes. Frankly, this is one of my favorite things on Twitter right now because it's absolutely hilarious because we keep making the joke that Rubio gets a new job, and then the Trump administration keeps giving him new jobs. He's currently going to go run Venezuela right now, and then they're also, this is just a joke, saying Marco Rubio has been put in charge of the Ethereum Foundation, so he's wearing a proper Vitalik shirt. But moving to Ethereum for real, we're not here for the jokes, we're here for the charts, we're here for the alpha. This is actually something pretty crazy. You know how there was always like a staking time to stake and an unstaking time on Ethereum? You know, a bunch of the exchanges would sometimes say it's going to take 2 weeks to stake your Ethereum. It's going to take 4 weeks to unstake it. The queue to exit Ethereum right now is 0. You can instantly exit your crypto off of the Ethereum blockchain for the staking. The actual entry queue is 25 days to start staking. So needless to say, there's a gigantic freaking backlog. And this hasn't happened since no, I'm sorry, not saying it hasn't happened. Yeah, it hasn't happened. This hasn't, the exit queue hasn't 0. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I'm gonna fix all this post. I'm not. We haven't seen it since July 2025 where the exit queue hit 0, and then the backlog right now is the highest. So basically people are buying, locking up all their Ethereum, not trying to sell it. So this is interesting, right? Because Ethereum's the most hated thing ever, rightfully so. It's not done much, but it looks to me like Rainbow Theory-wise that it's bottoming, and the entry queue's backlogging, and the exit queue's not, and then what's our Ethereum sailor dude is buying like crazy. So moving to our Ethereum chart. If you guys can, like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way to wake up these algos. Otherwise, your dude's going to go be a reply guy and go get a nasty Twitter paycheck every 2 weeks saying lock in and posting Rubio memes. But this is our crazy chart. This is the crazy chart that called the bottom, that like Rainbow Theory traders dude got nasty around 1600 on Ethereum. We're seeing a same extended channel walk. It's not as crazy, but we see an extended channel walk. This is Rainbow Theory Rainbow Trends chart on the daily. Channel walk down after a nasty, awesome top print. Like, shout out Runnerbot. It came down until we hit the mid-range resistance order block, which we've identified in this crazy trend, which has been going sideways for, 4 years. Lots of ups and downs. Really a high of like 44, low of like 1500. It looks like it was traveling down, tagged the bands. We were looking to see if it was actually going to revisit the super, super lows and praying that it didn't. It actually caught support at our mid-range resistance order block. So we have our resistance order blocks up here. That's our top one. That was also our target from way back in April. And we have our support ones down here flagged. So you have a support order block here and a second one down here. And then we kind of had a mid-range one. So the mid-range ones, I just kind of paint them as orange. They kind of are, they're just a pivot point, which is either resistance or support. But it showed support, and we've broken this channel out on the daily. It's actually looking kind of decent. And then you see that Ethereum is getting backlogged for staking, and it's like, man, are we really going to go and climb back up into Q1 of 2026? It's crazy. It's looking like that. Volume's trailing off, though, but it is starting to rise up. We're still above 3,000, which is crazy. I was informed we were going to 0, so something to see. Side note, Zcash, our beloved Zcash, is dying. I say dying. This thing went on a run from $46 all the way up to 700 plus. We're really seeing our first tail offs. Like, the Rainbow Theory colors need to even be they have to be adjusted, because this is just straight pink for days and weeks and weeks and weeks, when nothing else in crypto was running except like actual silver. So she finally topped out, came back, tagged the resistance bands here, went up to not the cyan ones, which we were tagging here, and then we had a major pullback. I saw that there was some drama with like the actual Zcash devs. Welcome to the show, because we're talking Zcash devs and crypto in general, but we got a very, very sharp move here, which I was looking at and I was like, I don't want to touch this, but that's showing a signal in the middle of offshore operations with the team. I don't want to monitor the Zcash position, but and also there's so much room to drop. It's just kind of crazy. Oof. Are we getting pauses? Thank you, Sean. Let me test. Bit rate's looking good. Drop frames are... got one drop frame. Is this looking good? Let me draw something squiggly and see if that's looking good, Sean. Is it smoothing out at all? Let me check the actual stream on Twitter. Not Twitter, YouTube. Sorry, Brooks, we're going to test to make sure the stream is good for everybody. We got a comment. Twitter comments, not really a thing, but YouTube comment dudes are saying they saw some drop frames. I'll draw some more on. I'm watching. Looks like we're good. I'm watching. Yeah, it looks like we're fixed, Sean. It looks like we're good, Sean. Maybe on your end. But anyway, let me know in the chat if it's messed up, but on my end, its stats and everything are looking good. I'm dropping a frame here or there, but nothing that should be stuttering. I might need to kill the bitrate a little bit. It's at 15 megabytes a second, but we're on fiber, so it should be good. We're not on Starlink. I wish I was. Not really. I wouldn't want to stream on Starlink. But moving on, Zcash, I'm watching this retest. If you believe in the crypto gods, yeah, that might bounce and actually go again on a crazy run, or even any type of recovery, dude. Like 410 to like 500 would be sick. Moving on. All seriousness. If you happen to be a cleaning person, janitorial services at Mar-a-Lago, let me know. I'm looking for someone that can give me a heads up when they start bringing in black curtains into Mar-a-Lago and they start rolling in the TV screens with Twitter. So we're literally looking at a operation where they were raiding Mar-a-Lago, or not they were raiding Venezuela from Mar-a-Lago, and we have like the Department of War guys. We've got Rubio here. We've got Hegseth, all them stuff. They're actively monitoring the situation on Twitter. It's insane. It's cool, but it's absolutely crazy. That's a thing. I just cannot believe it. Yeah, let me know if it's still messing with you, bud. Not seeing anybody else who has the issue with the stuff. But anyway, I just thought this was crazy. I never would have thought they would be invading a country and watching the Twitter feed. But here we are. And I'm also curious, is that a normal Twitter account, or is this like a special one that like Trump and them set them up with? It would be interesting. Like a Department of War like Twitter account would be crazy. But anyway, moving on. In all seriousness, yeah. We've got Lindsey Graham going crazy. So in all seriousness, Venezuela, I guess, fell. The guy's gone, and they're basically U.S. is planning on managing that country pretty much indefinitely. They say for the time long being, we'll see. But in all seriousness, they had some tankers that tried to leave the blockade, and they changed flags. So if you guys don't know, every international ship that goes port to port, etc., that's commercial, short of I even think sailboats probably have to. I don't know if like little fishing boats do, but they have to basically register their vessel with a country. A lot of people use countries that have like really nice tax advantages or have easier maritime laws, etc. There's a lot of vessels that work from the United States that have like flags from other countries, and it's just because there's like maritime advantages. I forgot more. Is it Mauritania? I forgot which the country is. It's like all the oil rigs in the Gulf have these like foreign flags, and it's just because it's easier for them regulatory wise. But regardless, this tanker, which had been in Iran, made it to Venezuela, broke through the blockade, and the Americans were chasing it for a while. In the middle of chasing it, they changed their flags over to Russia, which kind of was a very, very interesting turn. This tanker got all the way over to around the Scotland area, and Russia sent out some of their Starfleet nuclear subs and some, I think, 3 ships to go intercept to rescue this boat, an allegedly empty, rusty oil tanker. And then the Americans boarded the vessel over in Europe and took control of it. Now it's heading back to the United States. So there's a lot of rumors that, hey, this empty vessel probably has like some serious weapons in it. So there's rumors it has nukes, there's rumors it has long-range missiles, all this type of other stuff. We haven't heard a peep since they took it over, but it's really interesting that Russia would deploy nuclear subs to go intercept an old rust bucket oil tanker that's allegedly empty. And it's also interesting that American Special Forces would drop on it in the middle of the Atlantic, that close to Europe. So I'm super interested to see what's on the Bella 1. This is like the Russian fleet coming that they deployed to go get it. Big old nuclear sub. And then we have the landing on this thing, middle of the ocean. The other thing that was interesting, they were in the middle of the Atlantic, and some of these little tiny helicopters that they were deploying only have ranges of 100 miles. So where did they launch them from? Because they didn't see them on the U.S. Coast Guard boats. It's kind of interesting. Some of the theories is they had them stowed away underneath the decks of the U.S. Coast Guard boats, deployed them, so it's kind of cool. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the Bella 1. That's U.S. Coast Guard getting right up to it. So they're thinking they stored these little mini helicopters like somewhere under their decks, which is kind of interesting and cool. I say cool, just G.I. Joe nifty. But like you said, we've got to monitor the situation and see what's going on. Venezuela failed, and then they started instantly talking trash to Cuba and Colombia and Mexico, and then also said, you know what, we're going to go take Greenland too. It's critical. And if you have 2 monitors, there's more situations. I only have 2 monitors, and there's more situations. Fun meme. Speaking of memes, go look up Rubio on the Twitter media file. These are what I was talking about. You want to go get like 100,000 views a day? Just post Rubio memes. Frankly, they're fantastic. Like, it's just... yeah. Go do that for 5 days. You'll get that 5 million impressions on YouTube or on Twitter. And then also Maduro. When they capture Maduro, he was wearing a Nike tracksuit, so people are making the memes of all of this. Are you wearing the Nicolas Maduro tracksuit? Yes, I am. I shouldn't laugh, but that one's... Han Solo Maduro is pretty good. Speaking of seriousness, no, we went from Russian subs to I'm sorry, went from memes to Russian subs to actual memes. It's actually looking like Iran may be falling. I don't know if this is just CIA psyops and that's what they're putting all over Twitter, but they cut the internet today, and they cut some of the phones, and actually some of the countries are falling, or I say countries, the cities are falling. So it's getting real interesting. This is an IP tracker that shows their internet. That's their internet basically going to 4% of the entire country. Basically, the country's having regime issues or having riots, and they cut the internet. They don't want people talking or looking at the news or sharing any information or organizing. It's actually looking like they may be organizing, which is interesting because we're actually seeing Jack Dorsey's bit chat start to come online and be used in these countries. I believe it was there was an African country this week that said they are not going to allow BitChat be used in their countries, and allegedly they can stop it. If you guys don't know, basically Jack Dorsey created an app that can basically talk between phones. It doesn't need a network. It's like it can relay transmission between all these different phones which are within range of each other. So it's kind of like eventually it'll share something to a phone that has internet, and it can spread it, etc. Go look it up. It's a pretty cool tech thing. I'm not that type of a developer, but actually seeing like something Jack Dorsey help people out in Iran is kind of crazy. So speaking of block, speaking of Jack Dorsey, that'll give us a chart. So I like to tie the charts to the news. I personally don't trade block at all, but you want to talk about something setting up accumulation in a half pipe. I don't know when this would actually take off, but that is definitely ranging. We have a very, very clear range if you can't see this. So, pretty cool. I say pretty cool. It's just cool to see resistance and support hold over and over and over again. It kind of makes you more confident in your trading theories. But moving on, the other thing they showed this week was a whole bunch of Starlink satellites being launched over the top of Iran. So maybe the internet issue is going to be fixed, and they just airdrop in a bunch of Starlink units, and people start using the internet from Starlink to maybe potentially see a country overthrow. Speaking of Starlink, we've got to check Tesla. We check Tesla every time. This is one of my favorite stocks, and it moves just like crypto. So we had this great bleed out deep into the the reversion bands. And then we've had some moves up, hit all-time highs, and we've kind of bounced right off that pivot, which is also a Mali pivot. And what's that Nexus? Bounced right off that pivot, and we've come back down. So we're hoping to maybe see a reversal and keep trucking out. We'll see. I definitely don't like buying ranges like this. I like waiting and buying these bottoms, which are nasty. And it's not happening right now. Speaking of that, we are also using ChatGPT to show EVs with rocket launchers. I've been posting that chat that Cuba started retaliation by shooting some rockets into the ocean, so I started making Rivians, where they have LiDAR, sonar, and radar now. And I think, why not? Why not have an EV with a surface-to-air rocket launcher? But looking at the Rivian chart, we're going to pull this bad boy up on the dailies. If you guys don't know, that's that's Jin Tao's cat. That's one of Jin Tao's cats. And Jin Tao predicted this, yes. And that's a super cute cat. It's breaking out of this wedge. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Now, I personally am waiting for a little bit of a pullback because I don't want to touch reversion band stuff here, but I may get left in the friggin' dust. Rivian's a tech company. People are starting to realize it. The memes are real. The gatos are cute. But yeah, half pipe time. This is one of those ones setting up. If she half pipes up and out, you're looking at new all-time highs, which can full friggin' sin. So, moving on. We're looking at the tech. We're going to talk Coinbase. Coinbase not looking good. Some people are looking at this at like high time frames, looking at, hey, we've got a reversal, maybe you can find a lot of times where Coinbase looks good on a low time frame, but when you look at the high time frames, it's not in play. Right now, this is bleeding out, not looking so great. And if you look at it on the daily, it needs more time, in my opinion. So we'll see. Maybe they get an awesome catalyst, but this is not super amazing. And it's not super bad either, where I get really, really interested. So we'll see. We got pretty close to the pivot at 221, but anyway, moving on. In all seriousness, I love the Kramer meme about the what is it? The Roasters, Kenny Rogers Roasters chicken episode on Seinfeld. Someone redid it with purple instead of red. Kramer, what's going on in here? We're on the Truth and Requisition saving Captain Keys, Jerry. So, where does that transition us into? Straight to Microsoft. So, if you guys haven't seen this major freaking blunder, Microsoft has been putting Copilot on everything. They got some flack like a month ago because the TV started getting Copilot installed, which I don't know. I mean, there's refrigerators that have Copilot on at this point. But one of the big blunders they did this week was Microsoft rebranded Microsoft Word as Copilot 365, I think. I've got to be honest. I've beefed with Doppel for years about Microsoft versus Windows and da 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 da. Every time they turn something into Copilot or they add Copilot integration into something, a piece of me dies inside, and I'm really looking at pushing my work laptop or my like my personal Rainbow Trends laptop ThinkPad over to Ubuntu or SteamOS or Mint or something to get to. I'm getting fed up with this, so we'll see. Maybe it's time I bite the bullet. And they recently did a comparison where they used all the different operating systems from Microsoft XP up to Windows 11, and like 11 came in last on just about everything. It's getting crazy. And they're making all types of memes. They're just putting Copilot into freaking everything. In all honesty, I use the Copilot a lot at work. It's basically just a free chat GPT that I have set up, so I actually use it quite a bit, but they integrate it into freaking everything. Amazon's doing AI integration right now, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It is what it is. Maybe they're going to learn one of these days, like, it's just not everything needs AI integration. So, looking at Microsoft, I have not been interested in this bad boy since this channel walker broke. This looks a lot like the Tesla chart where we had an all-time high, kissed again, and then she's pulled back. She's in the middle here. She's nowhere near the upper or the lower band, so this is I'm not interested. I'll check it every other week or so to see if it's doing anything, but just not interested in this. Moving on. So, if you guys haven't seen CES this week, I had to share this because I don't know. I'm an engineer. I'm a subsea engineer. I do a bunch of computer stuff. Obviously, welcome to the stream. I don't know how they did this, but check this out. It's a gaming laptop where the screen gets bigger. I'm not joking. Oop. I don't know what to say. Chat, explain to me how that happens, because I don't know how it's possible personally. I don't know if it's rolling in the corners. I don't know. I can see that part, but like, it's not super thick, so maybe it's rolling the corner. I don't know. Well, did that show a bend? Hold on. That showed right there. It looks bent here. Maybe it is rolling through there. That's still a crazy roll. But yeah. Imagine driving 90 minutes into commute into work, widening up your laptop, and then logging into a Teams call. Looks cool as shit. And then imagine, like, I guess the graphics card, I wonder if it's adjust, because it showed, I think you can actually go partially open. I wonder if it's like doing adaptive resolution, because you're basically making up resolution ratios if you stop at mid-game or mid. I don't know. Super cool tech. Lenovo, keep it up. I would love this in a little ThinkPad, albeit I don't think you could justify it. See, guys, how do they do that? It's not that thick. Maybe a half inch, 3/4 inch? Maybe? Super cool. I think bendable phones are kind of crazy. That's or like not used. I think they're useless, but that's pretty nifty. All right, moving on. Big news is Anaheim 1 is this Saturday. Your boy's ready to see some Supercross. We're going to see Jason Anderson back on Suzuki. We've got Eli Tomac for the first time on KTM. We have got Chase Sexton on a Kawasaki for the first time. I am freaking pumped. The only real bad thing is, we get to see the Ducati bikes for the first time. That's cool. Our fastest dude, Jet, has a broken foot, so we're not going to have him. But we'll have his brother, Hunter, so we'll see. But, moving on. So, apparently, quantitative easing is back on the menu, boys. Trump just announced today that they're just going to buy $200 billion in mortgage bonds to drop interest rates. So apparently it's just like they're going to go start taking over countries. We're going to take over Venezuela, go take over Greenland, and then they're just going to money print. I guess is where we're going with this. It's just crazy. Geiger Capital saying you are not bullish enough. So here's a Trend Spider doing their great sheet. Shout out Dan Ushman. Much love. Good friend of ours down at Rainbow Trends. We're actually working on converting some of our tools over to the Trend Spider suite. So stay tuned. I think we might actually do it in 2026. Shoot them a DM. Shoot Dan a DM. Let him know you're wanting to see it. But balance sheet offloading, starting to see this crinkle back up, and then $200 billion. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna go outside the Fed. We're just gonna go buy $200 billion in bonds. I digress. So if you guys haven't noticed, the Queen has been dethroned. Inverse Kramer has outperformed Nancy Pelosi in 2025. It's shocking. So if you guys don't know, Jim Cramer, someone made a actual ETF where they buy when he says sell and they sell when he says buy. They basically do the opposite. That's why it's called Inverse Kramer, and it freaking prints. And it's actually insane. But yeah, even Elon Musk tweeted on that today. But yeah, S&P 500 all-time highs this week. We actually hit $7,000 for just a split second. Absolutely mental. Changing the game. Say changing the game. We're just rolling. If you guys remember, we called a lot of stuff back in the day. We paid a lot of attention here on the S&P 500 when we had this broadening wedge going down, and we were plotting how far this bad boy can go. We're going to start entering here and just keep some dry powder in case the actual bottom of this frickin' blows out. And we did pretty well. I got over 6 figures entered here in the old retirement account, and it's up 30-something% right now, or 30-ish. Very happy with that. And I've just been watching it channel walk up ever since this reversal. I mean, guys, I'm not lying here. Like, those are purple RSI prints almost touching the bands on the S&P 500. It's just like never happens. Great entry. Great entries. We scooped it. Go check out the Rainbow Trends Discord. A lot of dudes went long here. It was awesome. And then it's been channel walking up, and it broke the channel walk. And I've been watching this like a hawk since. On here, I was just kind of, meh. Hey, guys, we'll keep watching it. It's still uptrend. Money keeps moving. And then new Fed in May. So we're 5 months away from seeing that, which isn't that long. But we broke the channel walk. So now I'm looking to see, is it going to be a channel walk shift? When I say channel walk shift, a channel walk shift is where you see it price temporarily break down, but then continue the same slope and angle. And basically you just pick up another channel and you keep that channel going, right? I don't know yet. I'm watching to see if that's what it is, because that would be the case, an argument for bullish continuation. A lot of people try to keep shorting this damn thing and it just keeps going up. So you also see Cassandra, what's his name? The famous short guy. Cassandra is shorting a ton of stuff. It's calling for the AI bubble, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm watching this to see it's printing. It's, you know, hey, it's printing. It keeps printing all-time highs. Yeah, definitely great news. But just being careful, because these channel walks, when they really break in the crypto industry, they bounce pretty freaking far. So I'm wanting to watch the hell out of that. So volatility is coming Friday, which is tomorrow, if you guys haven't been paying attention. Why? Look at our trade balance in the United States. It's negative $29 billion, previous negative $48 billion. Why? All of the tariffs that Trump has been putting on all the other countries, right? So, if you guys don't know, the Supreme Court is supposed to issue on the legality of the tariffs tomorrow. So, we have potential volatility. Well, I say potential. Volatility is coming tomorrow. Will the market be bullish on it or bearish on it? I don't know. We don't even know what the rules will be. The outcome of the ruling. But there is a scenario where the Supreme Court comes out tomorrow and say the tariffs that the Trump administration have applied to these other countries are illegal and like have to stop or have to be returned, and then everything's gonna get real silly at that point. There's billions of dollars that they've taken in on tariffs, and it's like, oh, we're just gonna go refund this to all the countries. Gonna get weird, gonna get super political, needless to say. But check your brakes. We'll see where you're at. I love this tweet because it really encompasses it, because there's people that are just trying to long NFTs and meme coins right now. But my accountant. So during a year when the S&P closed up 16%, NASDAQ gained 20%, gold rose almost 75, silver did it over 150, you somehow managed to lose more than half of your net worth on something called Fartcoin. The crazier this world gets, the more bullish you should just be on OG stuff. Needless to say, I don't have many regrets buying Bitcoin ever. You don't want to trade, just buy really, really nasty paint and sit on it. And you don't have to pay taxes on it, unless you're in California, where they steal it after setting it there for 3 years. Yeah, by the way, go look that up. California, if your Bitcoin sits on an exchange for like 3 years, I don't know if it's all cryptos, but it's at least Bitcoin. If it just sits there for 3 years, unmoved, California takes it. So definitely get your stuff off those exchanges. But yeah, Fartcoin, straight down. At one point, it was $1.60. It's 40 cents right now. I don't even know if that was the peak. This is just when this particular place traded it or started trading it. But history-wise, in all honesty, if you're a dude like Pixa in the Discord who loves volatility when everything else is kind of grinding and crabbing, this is your volatile coin to trade. It's just, you are playing with fire because you have to be very, very careful with these. Why, runner, are you scared and not advising people to go long their entire net worth on Fartcoin? Well, this is why. This thing prints really, really crazy bull runs, but it also does crazy, crazy retraces. And if you hit this wrong unintelligently, you can eat a 40% swing real fast. So you have to be locked in, you have to be mechanical, you have to be emotionless, so just tread lightly. Now, speaking of silver doing 150%, thank you, Huck. We'll move you out of the way. Silver continues to go absolutely nuts. One of the interesting things is, even though Dime is officially the first unofficial non-endorser of Rainbow Trends, he uses Rainbow Trends from time to time, and he sends me charts. He looks at stuff. He looked at this after the fact, but it was really, really interesting. Dime sold at $75 on that candle and didn't realize that he was selling on the pink candle on silver. I assumed he was, because he saw it, and then he came back and shot me a chat later. He's like, yo, when was the last time we saw a pink candle on silver? And I was like, I don't know if we've seen one this decade. And look at this. Let me switch to, well, I don't want to switch to daily because it'll change the candle coloring, but you get the point. We haven't seen pink or anything like this type of a run since, what, maybe the 80s? I'm not going to go that back far. This was 2020. 2020 we had some pink. But needless to say, that's at $21. We haven't seen anything like this in a very long time. And he actually went and sold physical silver in person at $75, which is cool. So I think you could argue this could be a macro top, but to be honest, if they keep invading countries and stuff like this and scaring people, people are going to keep flocking to the shiny rocks. This could continue, but I will say this: this is not the best time to buy. We printed higher colors here, and we're rolling over colors. So even if this went slightly higher, this is something we would catch crypto tops on when others would go long. Even if these candle wicks like slightly break the higher high, that triggers people to go, hey, higher high, I'm long. But if you'll notice, these are like pinks and purples. This is just blues, cyans, and greens. So we had another drive up, and fortunately, it's easier to read because it didn't set a higher high. It was slightly lower. So you're like, hey, that's a lower high. What you're seeing is less RSI, less rainbow colors pulling out of the band. So this is either just a short breather before we keep going up, or this is going to pull back. We have to be really, really careful. Either way, for me, it's just chill out and watch. It's already done its damage, $50 to $75. You got to chill like Huck. So anyway, moving on. The other one that was interesting was copper, and that chart disappeared. So I hit refresh. Oof, I hit the wrong. I don't want many features. So copper is hitting some crazy, crazy numbers here, and I wanted to show you this because this is back. We caught this way back. I didn't trade it, full disclosure, but it was interesting to see it happen. People were talking on Twitter, like, yo, what happened to copper? Was there some event? My tool's messed up. Give me a second. So you turn the border to 0, switch it to red on the fill-in, and then you tell it, where's that other setting? You tell it to extend to the right, and that's how I draw the pivots, or the order blocks. So it's an order block right there. You see how it's tag, 2 pivots. So this was one of the interesting things, this candle. And what happened was this was a tariff announcement on Trump, that blew up Twitter, and copper nuked from $5.80 down to $4.40, like in a bomb candle. Pink RSIs, then you saw full rotation, and now it's all the way back up to like some of the all-time highs. So if this bad boy breaks through and continue past $6, we might see a crazy run and see this as a lagging like silver trade. I don't know, but I'm gonna see what they do with it. That being said, I do want to start looking at the power consumptions of what some of the AI stuff that they're planning. At the CES show, like AMD was talking about how a country's GDP could be projected off the amount of hash rate that they have with their AI compute and their power output to power it. And I was like, okay, they're really, really trying to sell this, but they make a good point. So I kind of want to see what's the biggest raw materials that they use for the power transmissions that they're going to use for some of the AI. So anyway, another thing, I saw this. It's actually real. It's if there's anything in nature that says "do not touch me," this screams "do not touch me." This is called the Spectacular Saturn Day, the macro fisher. Looks rainbow trends as F. But anyway, lastly, we're checking on hash rate. We always keep a check on the hash rate because if the miners start falling off out of nowhere, I want to know about it. Hash rate's still climbing, guys. Maybe it's because they're doing the water heaters that we talked about earlier. That being said, we are at the end of the show. We're going to go hop on the Rainbow Trends Discord. If you don't know where the Discord is, it's on the top of the website here. Always click that banner. If you're when in doubt, that banner will take you to the Discord. Thanks for all coming out. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to go head over to the Discord, open up the mic, and we're probably going to go talk Toyota, some surfing for a bit. 3D printing if you want. Or if you guys have questions, we'll learn how any of this stuff.